don't know. I'm happy they beat the Bruins, but it's not like they had Bergeron. Dude, the Leafs didn't have Matthews. In fact, they haven't had him for about a month. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. What's their record again? Good. Hi. Victory, puppy! Plan the parade!
I have no idea what I'm doing.
God, to the riches of league! This team is ruining my life! Victory, puppies, boys! Okay, eat these if you think they're gonna do it in the playoffs, too. Yeah, well, you almost took my finger off, I believe. Don't leave, I want to have a discussion about Marner's primary assist. You see, basically, it means more often than not, Marner is the last person to touch the puck before the goal scorer. Are you trying to leave? Leafs win 4-2 over the Boston Bruins. Oh, we got a nighttime video because the coffee was good. Specifically, l'espresso è molto bene. I don't know, I asked my mom. And even more specifically, Mitch Marner was good. So I guess the Mountain Dew was good and the night was good. At very least, the result was good because despite all the injuries, the Bruins were good. So overall, I think you should feel good. And how are you doing? You good? That's good. Everything's good. Let's talk about the game, which was good. Well, actually, we might as well start on something bad, but the update is good. Bruins defender Kevin Miller took a John Tavares wrist shot to the throat, leaves the game immediately, and actually goes to hospital in Toronto. But a positive update after the game. Here's a tweet from Sportsnet's Luke Fox. Bruins D Kevin Miller staying in Toronto hospital overnight to make sure his breathing is normal and to monitor swelling. He's out of any danger from what we've heard, said Bruce Cassidy. Hopefully he's able to fly back tomorrow. No timeline for return. Obviously taking every precaution there. This isn't your pinky finger, this is your breathing. Now I'm certainly not criticizing the guy, but looking at the replay, I don't think Miller was wearing a neck guard. Regardless, ignoring him specifically, it's crazy to me that players at the highest level don't all wear them. As we've seen relatively recently, a puck to the throat's not even the worst thing that can happen. I know a lot of hockey players hate wearing them, but dude, the most important part is it looks like he's gonna be okay, and that's great news. Before the game even began, there was a milestone to announce, and it's crazy how it snuck up because I didn't hear anyone talking about it. Patrick Marleau playing in his 1600th career NHL game. He's only the 11th player to hit that milestone, and he's got all of the rest of this year and all of next year left on his contract with the Leafs. Maybe the icing on the cake, this tweet from Chris Johnston. Not only is Patrick Marleau playing his 1600th NHL game tonight, nearly half of them have come consecutively. His active run of 733 straight is inside the top 10 all time. Marleau's point production puts him in the Hockey Hall of Fame conversation. If he wins a cup, I think he's a lock. Silly me, a cup, like he's not gonna win plural. But dude, you consider his point production, you gotta consider the amount of games played. It's hard to do. I know we rip on Ron Hainsey, but the fact that he's one of only, I think, 330 players, something like that, ever to play in 1,000 NHL games, it's hard to do. And Marleau's played 600 more games than that? What? Marleau's played in 733 straight NHL games. For context, John Tavares has only played in 694 games in his entire career. If you include his playoff games, he's at 718. He still doesn't catch them. And Marleau, by the way, I can't even process this, 184 playoff games. That's like 2.25 seasons in the playoffs. So if you include that 1,784 career NHL games, he's probably at 1,800 if you include preseason games. He's ridiculous. Speaking of which, the game. Nazem Kadri, who I saw Bruins fans in my mentions all day about him for some reason. Breakaway, ow! Hits the post. No, I wanted there to be all the salt. Couldn't beat Yaroslav Halak, who's playing like he thinks it's 2010 or something. No one's getting anything past Halak and they're running Carey Price out of Montreal. Yeah, it's 2010 alright. But late in the period, a puck springs loose in the offensive zone. Mitch Marner goes to get it, so 3 Bruins say he's dangerous. Marner's so good that he just has that magnetic effect, and when he gets room though, it opens up space for his teammates, which makes him even more dangerous because that's what he does. Just welcome to Mitch's Sauce Kitchen. Who wants some? You, Dermot, you? Here you go, kid. And Dermot's like, we're like the same age, but anyway, shoot. It goes on. I think it gets deflected either by a Bruin or Zach Hyman. Doesn't matter. It counts as Dermot's first goal of the season, and the Leafs are up 1-0. And 1-0 after the first. Bruins outshoot the Leafs in the first, but it's 10-9. Acceptable. Second period, Bruins outshoot the Leafs 18-9. Unacceptable. But I'll tell you part of the reason. The refs called a penalty. For those Leafs fans too young to remember what that is, you can Google it, because it's the first penalty for or against the Leafs in over 2 home games. Lindholm to the box for, was it hooking? What is that? David Pastrnak on the doorstep because he's David Pastrnak. His 18th goal of the season, maybe cover that guy, ties the game. About halfway through the frame, the Leafs are skating the puck through the net. Too many men on the ice penalty. Nobody told me there were this many kinds of penalties. But the Leafs managed to kill it off with their, was this, it says here, penalty kill. Gauthier serves the penalty. He comes out of the box, and thank goodness, because the Bruins are kicking the Leafs' teeth in. Shots 14-3. But the Bruins, oh, they didn't scout. They had no idea of the danger they were in, because Goat rushing in with the puck on the wing. They don't even realize Mitch Marner's there too. I don't know if you were watching last game, but when Marner gets on the ice with the Leafs' fourth line players, things happen. Gauthier drops it for Marner. That's exactly what I would have done. Marner holds it, holds it, holds it, holds it. Keeps holding it. Even like leans up against the boards for a second, just chilling. And again, it's hilarious. There's 4 Bruins looking at him. I can't even blame them. They should be. One of them's like lazily, like half-heartedly, like, yeah, I'm afraid of Gauthier. I know he's there. Hyman's at the face-off dot, like, I'm on the Leafs, man. And then streaking in. The Bruins forgot to check behind that curtain. Yeah, the Wizard of Oz, Igor Oshawa with his first career NHL goal. And it's great because lip reading, when you see a player miss or score or anything good or bad, they say the same thing. They go, bad words, yeah! That's exactly what they say. All the kids watching this video right now, they go, bad words, yeah! Well, let me tell you, have I told you I used to work for the KHL? You might have read something unfamiliar on Ozhiganov's lips, and that's because he basically said that, but in Russian. And if you're curious for the translation, it's basically, bad words! I know, it's so weird that it's the same in Russian and English. We are the world. Oh, the coffee was good. And so has Ozhiganov been. Let me just pen a letter and, oh, this is dangerous. Every time I compliment a player, something bad happens. All right, no, I'm gonna say it anyway. It needs to be said. I say a lot of words, okay? It doesn't mean it's gonna suck. Listen, Igor, I like you. I noticed you on this play, and I really like that. But you know what I really like about you? How seldomly I notice you. Because every game, every shift last season, I was very aware that Roman Polak was on the Leafs. And I can't tell you how many times this season I've had to go, which one's 92 again? How do you pronounce it? It was not Martin Marincin, yeah. And yes, the Leafs took a penalty in this one, and it led to a power play goal against. But their penalty kill's still 15th. It's just right there in the middle, 80.3%. And dude, check this out. Time shorthanded, the Leafs are dead last in that category. The Leafs have only been shorthanded 61 times. It's not even close. The Penguins are second last at 66. And dude, check out the top of this list. There's a bunch of teams that have been shorthanded into the high 80s. The Canucks, 100 times. The Leafs have been shorthanded 39 fewer times than the Vancouver Canucks. Process that. But hilariously, there's this. They're tied for dead last in power play opportunities with 64. Also with Pittsburgh. Explain! But I'm getting away from the point. The point I'm trying to make is this. Polak was a penalty killer so often last season, and good on him. He was a warrior. Took a lot of penalties too. But so far, the Leafs defense, which, yeah, I think needs some work. Ozhiganov over Polak in the lineup at 5-on-5, I think is a huge, underrated improvement. He struggled a bit to start, which could be expected, but I think he's been getting better and better, and his offense is just starting to trickle in. Pinches sometimes now, but he's usually pretty responsible about it. I want him to use that bomb of a slap shot. How much time have I just spent on Igor Ozhiganov? Let's continue with the game. Right off the face-off, David Pastrnak again. Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? Why is it always Pastrnak? Pasternak's 19th goal of this NHL season, and somehow his 20th goal of the season against the Leafs. And he was a thorn in the Leafs side in more ways than one today. Nylander, did you see this quote? David Pastrnak and close friend William Nylander. It's definitely hard for him to not play now. Adds he doesn't regret signing his $6.67 million 6-year deal before missing time last season. I could be playing in Czech, right? For a couple $100 per month. I'm willing to bet some things get lost in translation, but I take issue with this. Because too many Leaf fans latched onto this and went, yeah, Nylander should be grateful. How dare he, greedy Nylander, Greedlander. What does he think, he's better than Pastrnak? He could be playing for a couple $100 if he loves the game. No. Stop comparing Nylander to Pastrnak. Stop that right now. You're better than that. Why do we talk about Pasternak's deal so often, do you think? How come? Because he's getting ripped off. He signed an amazingly team-friendly deal. He is way better than a $6.67 million player. It's amazing what a team-friendly deal will do to perception. I've seen people talk about Tavares being overpaid. Dude, he's one of the best Leafs and he's having the best season of his career. Are you drunk? Why do we talk about Kadri's contract so often? Because it's wicked! So every center who's not as good as Nazem Kadri should make $4.5 million or less? No! They signed for market value. Also, you should never call an employee greedy for trying to get what they deserve. Believe me, I get get being an emotional fan, but he's just trying to get his. Look, Leafs Nation, if he sits out the year, I'll eat my words. But I don't think that's gonna happen, and I do think he's gonna sign this week, and if that happens, you better kiss and make up real quick, because he's a sick player and he's gonna be playing for your team. This one, to a deal that's probably pretty good. No, man, I don't care, I'm pissed, they should trade him. Yeah, that's what all the other teams are saying too. Please trade him. Gosh, I've been ranting so much, I'm sweating. I should probably get to the game-winning goal. Ladies and gentlemen, the Leafs have a power play. Mark it down right there. November 26th, 2018. The Toronto Maple Leafs get a power play. The Leafs' second power play unit gets on the ice. What are they doing with two power play units? They haven't even needed one. Marner, who's been out there for like $1.40, burns down the... Oh my goodness, Wagner. Marner makes NHL players look like me. Dash into the zone on a can of Mountain Dew. Marleau and it's Josh. Levo, it's 3-2. The coffee was good and it's starting to wear off. I'm sorry. Oh my Josh Levo. Do you believe-o? He's a Toronto Maple Leafo. His fourth of the season, a power play marker, puts the Leafs up 3-2. The goals in that period were 2-2, which is a small miracle because it was 18-9 in the shot column. Did I already say that? I did. But the score is now 3-2. And in the third period, the Leafs kept the pressure on, getting 13 shots of their own, but Boston had 12, and they looked dangerous. I gotta say, I hope Freddie's okay, because he got a lot of posts in this game, and he's been doing what he does when he's struggling, which is flopping around. He also got a little bit of help from Jake DeBrusk, who blocked the shot with the back of his head. As if Boston needs that. He got up, he was fine. Didn't stop him from getting a team-leading 7 shots on goal. Forget Pasternak, DeBrusk has been a Leaf killer in his short career. But Zach Hyman is sprung on an empty net breakaway, and he's not Patrick Stefan, he didn't miss. Marner with a rare secondary assist on that one, hilariously. And the Leafs win 4-2. Bruins fans, if I were you, I know it's easy to get upset at losing a divisional game, and these points are important. The Atlantic Division has somehow become a bloodbath. At this point, even getting a wild card spot in this division is going to be a challenge. Anyone goes on a little bit of a slump, even the Leafs, they could end up in a wild card spot. Dude, look how many guys are out of your lineup. Significant pieces too, and you lost a key defenseman after he only played 7 minutes. Don't get mad at this one, man. You still only lost by 1 goal that wasn't an empty netter. Frustrating? Yeah, but not the end of the world. So if I were you, I'd be happy that this lineup played the Leafs so closely, got 40 shots on goal, and more importantly, that Kevin Miller sounds like he's okay. Questions. Did Mitch Marner attend primary school? And the answer comes right after, he still does. Nah, he's a primary teacher now. Yeah, dude, how good was it that Marner was the one who got Ozhiganov's first goal puck? I love that. Do I even bother with the 253 other comments here in less than 10 minutes? No. Ooh, will the Oshawa Generals change their name now? Man, that's a tough one, and one I've been wondering. So, for those of you who don't know, well, I'm sure you heard, Oshawa got some terrible news yesterday, along with a few other places. Basically, GM is shutting down their plant in Oshawa. Oshawa used to be a huge motor city. I think the plant employed something like 25,000 people. It still employs thousands. Sounds like about 3,000 people are about to lose their jobs, and a lot of people I saw were going, oh, it's only 3,000. Dude, it's so much more than that. All the surrounding businesses, the suppliers, to suggest it's not significant is ignorant. Oshawa's population is about 160,000. Let's say 2,000 of the people getting laid off are from Oshawa. That's still about 1.25% of the entire city's population getting laid off at once. Anyway, the Arena Tribute Community Center now, it used to be called the GM Center because GM sponsored it. That obviously ended. And the Oshawa Generals, named after General Motors, have been named that since like the 30s. And the Jennies are such a big part of Oshawa. I bumped into someone at the mall today, told me a story. They were at the Gens game, and at the end of the game, that's when the news broke and everyone in the arena was talking about it. It's such a part of the city's history. I don't know if they're going to change it, but my gut instinct says at some point, probably not right away, but at some point, yeah, I think they're going to change the name. How awesome is it that Austin Matthews' parents showed up even though their son didn't play? It's an interesting screen cap. I don't know if it's real. I didn't actually see that, and I saw someone in the tweet saying that they were actually at the Flyers game too. Good game to go to. It's great. I mean, their son is a huge part of the team. He's probably going to be captain. But I mean, look at Marner, Tavares, Marleau, Riley. This team has a bunch of captains. That's a successful team. It's probably just that they're awesome, but if you want to read into it, it might be a sign that he's pretty close to coming back. I mean, that or they like the cold. Did you see that sick Bardowski Ripper from Oji, Snipe and Selly, yeah brah, no dust. Yeah. Is John Tavares a Leaf? I've been a fan of yours for a while, and I was curious if there was something you'd like to share from your life. Well, I think anyone who listens to the podcast knows I actually reveal a lot about myself. And a little bit of a plug, I talk about my life a lot in the upcoming book that I have coming out March 19th, available for pre-order. And by the way, I've sort of been tiptoeing around it. I can confirm there's going to be an audiobook. We're doing it. From my life, just I'm a little bit blown away by how things are going this season. Ice surfing, co-hosting Hockey Central Saturday with Rob Pizzo, co-hosting Tim and Sid with Sid Sixero. It's all a little silly, frankly. Right now, I'm just trying to do good work and make good stuff. And if you feel like clicking that subscribe button, because I just passed 93,000 subscribers, I'm trying to hit 100K, that'd be great. And on that note, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video, but more importantly, click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends that the Leafs beat the Boston Bruins. Can't always say that, so you should say it a lot, loudly.